log-walled lodge, our home for one more night, and the sole property standing on this little stretch of rugged Oregon coastline. Piper and Carly's shrieks of laughter drift after me as I head toward the blinking light. Alone and away from the fire, the darkness is a little more disorienting, but I keep going. Soon, the voices fall away, and the surge and crash of waves becomes louder. My shoes sink into the soft sand as I bypass the lodge and continue along the moonlit bay, heading for the shoreline with its sea caves and rocky projection hanging over the ocean. At the water's edge, I come to a stop, and I wait in the darkness. For him. But the minutes keep ticking by, and the battery on my phone is already down to one red bar. I glance over my shoulder toward the flickering orb of light emitted by the lodge. The tide is starting to come in, bringing in knots of seaweed and pebbles. I check the time again. It's nearly midnight. My stomach tightens. This was a bad idea. Bad. I shouldn't be here. But just as I turn to leave, a blood-curdling sound steals the air from my lungs. A strangled scream ripples over the bay. My heart slams in my chest. I spin around, stumbling into the darkness. My eyes dart toward the glow of the lodge, but the scream came from the opposite direction, where a hollow sea cave is lost in shadows. Somewhere in the darkness, stones click against each other, and the waves shh in response. I press my hand to my racing heart. "Colton?" I call, but no one responds. "Hey!" I try again, gripping my phone a little tighter. "Is someone there?" I sweep my flashlight across the bay. This is a private cove, way off the beaten track, and there's no one here but us. They shouldn't be fooling around out here, especially with the rising tide. Gingerly, I begin heading toward the cave, moving my light over the sand and boulders that fringe the thick black ocean. "Hello? Is everyone okay?" Treading carefully over the slippery stones, I forge a path to the mouth of a cave. The ground is puddled with seawater and tide pools have formed in the depressions between the rocks. I cling to my phone as I navigate a path into the hollow. A shiver crawls down my spine. I don't feel safe exploring caves in broad daylight, let alone in the middle of the night. "Is someone here?" My voice bounces around the hollow, a phantom in the darkness. I move the light over the damp walls as I edge forward, my shoes slapping through saltwater pools. And then I notice it. A phone on the ground. "Is anyone here?" I call. When only the echo of my own voice returns to me, I rescue the cell and wipe the damp case on my sleeve as I back out of the cave. The case is familiar, and a chilling thought nudges at the very back of my brain. The phone's dead, but it's still warm, as though it was just in use. Whoever was in here must have dropped it without realizing. They must have left pretty fast, too. It's not until I run my flashlight over the abandoned cell that I notice the screen is shattered.
Article by Louis Mathias. The body of a teenager was discovered at a beach in Tillamook County. Police were called to the privately owned land in the early hours of Saturday morning, April 16th, and the victim was pronounced dead at the scene. 8 Seattle high school students are being questioned in connection with the incident. Local police have declined to comment at this time, but it's reported that a 17-year-old has been arrested in connection with the death.
2 days earlier. Eva. Carly Davis drums her pastel-polished nails on the steering wheel as she sings along to the song on the radio, her ruby-red hair fluttering in the breeze from the open window. This is the first time I've been in Carly's car, a mint-green Prius with a Starbucks air freshener hanging from the mirror and a couple of empty soda bottles rolling around the footwell in the front passenger seat. A Rogue bottle bumps against my shoe. I nudge it aside. "So, we've been on the road for nearly 4 hours, you guys." I can hear...